I ever said something along the lines of it's gonna be a long night, because it's gonna be a long night again. Sitting in the mud, hoping that nothing's crawling on my back.
What the?
Jungle survival. These are the cloud forests of the island of Grenada, where fire ants are your nemesis. Fresh water is abundant, but tainted by sulfur, and weather is always unpredictable. My mission is to survive here in this incredibly diverse mountain jungle terrain. The southern Grenada Islands are situated between the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, northeast of Venezuela. Shrouded in mist, the jungle is veiled from the sun by thick blankets of cloud. It is possible to walk out of these hills and down to the coast, but I'm here to test myself in this tropical island jungle.
I'm in Grenada. It's a small island country. That's a group of islands, really. But it's big on nature. It's got tropical, desert-like islands, beautiful palm trees, sandy beaches, and it's got a ridge of mountains running right down the center of the main island. And those mountains are covered in cloud forest. And that's where I've got to survive now. Here, in Grenada. Welcome to the jungle.
In jungles around the world, I've become used to a few things. Being hot, wet, afflicted with rashes and fungus, or constantly bitten, stung, or crawled on, mostly by ants.
Wow. Now, a funny thing about these buttresses on these trees is they look so magical. They actually look inviting, but it's not a good place for me to survive the night. It's just horrible ground, nothing's flat, and a lot of critters like to go in here. Spiders, snakes. Beautiful tree, but not a good place to survive. I'm looking for flat ground. It's always sounds in the jungle, eh? Always sounds. And when you're not familiar with them, they're kind of freaky. I almost got a little clearing here. This will have to do. Rock in the way, but little body-sized area here that's flat. Really got to watch for tok-tok ants. They just crawl along the ground, along the trees. Well, one thing's for sure, you know it when you find one. Okay, I'm gonna have to get used to sitting without sitting, because the ground is always crawling with something.
Ecosystems are living, breathing entities unto themselves, but jungles exemplify this concept and exist as the most rich and obvious example of a land alive and moving.
With the sun going down, I'm not gonna take a lot of time to go through all my pack. I'm gonna do that in the morning. This time, got this guy here. Simple orange garbage bag, because this is a cloud forest. And clouds mean rain. Yeah. Gonna need more than this, that's for certain. But I've got a machete.
Each type of landscape requires its own version of a cutting tool that works well. And in the jungle, it's always going to be a machete.
Uh-oh. Oh, here comes the rain. Already. That's not fair. I'm not ready. Oh boy, I can hear it. I do not want to spend the night wet. Not much of a shelter, but it'll have to do. Yeah, here comes some rain. I gotta cover up the camera. It can really pelt down here, so. And of course, I got a rip in this. Shoot. That's not good. This is a survival bracelet. of sorts. Now, I've brought this out basically to test it out. Rain's coming in, and I need rope. Now, how do I undo this? Okay, so this one actually, the rope is wrapped around a little miniature tinfoil wrapped survival kit inside. Welcome to the world of filmmaking. Just hold off, Rain, hold off. I see a lot of people wearing these bracelets now. I'm a big fan of any survival item that you can wear on your body, carry with you easily and not have to put in a pack. But you gotta learn how to take them apart. With rain threatening, I cut it so I could get it apart faster. I hopefully didn't do something stupid.
It's often thought that there are black and white answers to what someone must do in a survival situation, but there never is. It'll always be an ordeal fraught with variables and circumstances that'll dictate what my next move is. It's equal parts preparation, proactivity, and reacting to whatever I have to face.
This is the little survival kit that comes with it. I'll put you away till a later date. And all I really lost was a piece this big, so obviously I cut it in the right spot to get this rope. This little guy will do, but even a pebble will work. Take it, put it in, wrap the plastic around it. Like this, like this. Put that through. I better start hurrying and stop teaching, because here comes the rain, I think. Oh, you know what? It's actually pouring out there. Oh, you son of a...
Jungle rain rarely announces itself as coming. They just happen every single day.
I'm in it now. I'm in the jungle. I just hope I can survive without getting too soaking wet.
Rain combined with heat brings the potential for rashes and fungus infections.
Jungle rains. I have a feeling that this is the way the week's gonna go.
Rain, lack of sleep, insect bites, injuries. I have to constantly pay attention to the odds stacking up against me.
Well, it stopped raining. Well, there's no way I'm gonna be able to sleep in this cacophony tonight. And the seams are out and biting. Little tiny biting flies. Lots of them. I'm just gonna wait this night out. Try and find myself a good rock to curl up on tomorrow. Middle of the day, in the shade. That's the thing about survival. You always end up needing to sleep in the middle of the day because you don't really sleep through the nights. And tomorrow night I better have a better shelter.
It's rare that anyone does the right thing on the first night of a survival ordeal. Shelters aren't considered until it's too late. Fire is forgotten until it's too dark to find wood. And inevitably, the scene is set for what comes next. Surviving with little sleep, which compromises my ability to make good decisions.
It rained pretty much all night long. I mean, it was off and on, but when it came down, it bucketed down. I mean, it gave me a few minutes in between each time. I huddled in underneath here, just stayed in real close, and I managed to stay dry just barely. And the major bonus was that all night long, it filled up with rainwater. I just kept guzzling. That one had a bug in it. Ugh. I've got a few items with me here, not much. Backpack to carry my camera gear. Got rain gear, a change of socks, and one t-shirt. I've got my machete and a way to sharpen it. I've got a file with it. Super important. Metal cup. My harmonica. And I had a bottle of water last night, but it's empty now. And if there's some more clean water in here without bugs in it, I'll fill it up. Take some more water with me. I've got to go deeper into the jungle, and here, going deeper means going up. Oh, that's good. And going up, there's not likely to be much water.
On a small jungle island, I've chosen to stay deep in the mountainous interior to survive whatever Grenada has in store for me. But trekking through terrain like this is always tough going and full of surprises, most of them painful.
That's where I'm headed. Up there. There are little tiny, they call them tracks, little tiny trails riddled throughout these jungles. But it's tough to stay on them. They're small and not very noticeable. Away we go. Straight up. It's so steep I'm gonna have to use handholds to get up, and I don't have a hand to hold because one's got the camera, the other one's got the machete. Just a morning jaunt. A little stroll in the park. Snap an ankle here. And that's the end of it. Nobody's coming to get me. No one will know where to find me. Always scanning around just to see what edibles. I even see a breadfruit tree. I don't see any fruit on it though. And that's been the trick too of this. So much, oh, you're gonna be able to pick this, pick that. You get told that all the time. Well, the breadfruit's right there, but it's not in season. I saw a clearing when I looked up. I was hoping the trail would go over onto this clearing. It's not, it's just going deeper into the jungle.
It's so important not to fall into the trap of only traveling the path of least resistance. It can lead you straight into a nightmare.
I'm gonna mark my own trail as I go. Make sure I can get back if I have to. It's really important when you blaze a tree that you do give it a good sized blaze. You want it up at eye level too, not down too low. You gotta blaze it on both sides because when you're coming back, you want to be able to see this. If you blaze it as you walk, always on the side you see, you forget to, that's not gonna help you. That's only showing where you went, not where you gotta get back to.
My challenge is to survive in this jungle. My way of survival is always a proactive style. Keep moving, cautiously and slowly. See what I can find. Always searching out the advantages and ways to make survival easier.
All right, try to pick out the trail. Not so easy, is it? Oh yeah, these guys. These guys? Nothing more than a harmless millipede, right? Wrong. These little suckers bite. Get off of me.
The trails here are old and unreliable, barely cut out of a jungle that grows constantly, filling in the path you make and covering over the marks left behind by machetes.
I think I'm lost. This trail just goes straight down to a river there. And it's a tiny, tiny little trail. I thought I saw another offshoot way back there. I'm gonna backtrack because I don't like where I am and I don't trust this. The only way to take a steep trail down is go sideways. I hate feeling lost.
If I have a nemesis in survival, it's my own sense of cockiness. It almost always leads me into dangerous places without many good options. The emotions of frustration and embarrassment compound and conspire to undo many of the better proactive choices I've made up until that point. My experience tells me I should always know where I'm going, but the jungle challenges that constantly.
I'm lost again. Trail's going down again. It's not a good sign. I take that back. The trail's disappearing again. And that's a worse sign. Oh, I'm locked in tight here. It can't be said enough. The wrong injury here spelled disaster for me. Just can't let an injury happen.
Trekking and even crawling my way through the jungle on the island of Grenada, the need for water starts to become a priority for my exhausted and dehydrated body.
No, this is fresh rainwater. That's what this is. It's not a stream at all. There's enough here I can get rehydrated again. Perfect. All right, well, that's enough climbing for one day. I'm gonna make that my destination, see what's up there. There's water here. If there's food up there, I might have a spot.
All I really want to do is get to higher elevations, where hopefully there will be a change of ecosystem, and I might find more plants, trees, and fruit that are edible.
Ow! I can't get a footing anywhere on this. It's all slippery. Plan B. That wasn't Plan B. Those are called flamma ants, fire ants. And I just climbed up over top of their nest, so hopefully nothing's hitched a ride on me. And two hands are not. This is not, all of this is either very slippery rock or it's just compacted mud and it just falls away. I'm saying this route is a no-go. Between the fire ants and the steepness and the slipperiness and this pack on my back. I'll try the other. There's a little ravine over there. I can't talk anymore. I'll look up it, go up it a little bit, but if not, I'm gonna have to head back. That's a long walk back. Well, I didn't quite find what I was looking for. A long way to come to not find what you're looking for. This is reward enough.
Climbing has yielded me nothing advantageous, just more of the same jungle. If you look at this area from a plane or a map, you'd think you could just walk out and down to the coast. But that viewpoint means nothing when you're on the ground.
I'm gonna show something here that might seem a little benign, but in the world of woodsmanship and survival, it's a skill that I value highly, and that's the ability to sharpen a blade. Dull blades cause more accidents than anything out in the wilderness. You want your blade to always be super sharp. That way, the effort to cut anything is easy and not forced. Now, what's happening here is I'm only going against the blade. You can see that you don't do this. Never do that when you're sharpening. So it's always in one direction. That's one thing. Same angle, keep going. What should end up happening is on the underside, I should almost get like a burr, an edge burr, because I'm not sharpening that side at all. I'm just sharpening on one side, so it's like the metal will curl over and give me a burr. All right, so I've got my burr. Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, at this point, I'll go too far and I'll create a burr on the other side. I actually like to do that. I like to go too far and create the other burr and get myself a really beautiful edge, an edge that you can shave with. Now, you gently can feel with your skin, or what I like to do a lot of times is drop it and see if it catches my fingernail. If the sharpness of it, just like that, like the weight of the machete is right now on my fingernail and catching. And I like that because that means that it's good and sharp. And that's important. Because I've got to get some food. And it's right up there.
Going back and forth until the burr becomes a fine edge is the magic of sharpening, and a sharp edge means easier survival.
Right there, palm hearts. The great thing about these palm hearts is they're plentiful. There's all kinds of them around. Sugars, starches, tender and juicy. This is gonna help me get through the day now. I'm starting to feel a bit weak, but This will pick me right up. There's another 4 or 5 there. And I'm gonna turn the cameras off and have lunch.
A day of climbing through this thick jungle has yielded me only a few palm hearts to eat, so I'll keep moving in the hopes of finding more fruitful areas.
I've been traveling a long ways, and I don't want to make the same mistake I made yesterday. I gotta start getting ready, because I'm sure the night rains will be soon. That's what a good sharp machete does. Okay. Now, I found a way to make this a little more substantial. Lots of material in the jungle. All right.
It has to be realized that building shelters takes a lot of time. There's no point to them unless they're really needed. It's a tough decision, but survival is always choice after choice. I just have to make the right ones, or risk making things worse by my own inactivity.
Sweating up a storm here, and all I've had is puddle water today. It's a bit of a dehydrated day, for sure. At least this way, if the night rains do happen, much better set up now. And one of the reasons for breaking up all this earth, too, and putting it that I'm not on a bunch of leaves is if there are any flama ants or millipedes or tok-tok ants crawling along, just a little easier to see them in the dark.
If the jungle is intimidating during the day, it comes alive at night, like some crawling, slithering, dark prison, and only the morning light brings escape.
Like that? What the heck? I hate sleeping on the ground when I know there's big, nasty ants that crawl around at night. Well, I've basically been able to check out my zone of assessment number 3. Remember, number 1 is my body, number 2 is everything I've got close to me, and number 3 is going further afield. What I did was I just went straight up. And it was a brutal climb, to be sure. But in the end, there was a payoff. All the way down, I stopped and pretty much ate every single palm heart that I could find. And I feel a lot better for it. It hasn't rained on me yet. Now, last night, by this time, it had already started raining, so that's a good sign. That's the biggest thing about building a shelter. You can't start at 4 p.m. You've got to start earlier if you want it to be substantial enough to withstand big rain. And here in the Grenada cloud forest, you get big rain. We'll see how I get through the night.
Here we go. Right on cue. Middle of the night, and here comes the rain. Has its benefits. It comes in really strong waves. And there's a big swath that just came pouring through, and now it stops. It'll drip for a while, and it'll probably come up again. It's pouring.
If I ever said something along the lines of it's going to be a long night, because it's going to be a long night again. Sitting in the mud, hoping that nothing's crawling on my back. Oh, that's good. I needed that. I'm dehydrated all day.
And herein lies the yin and yang of survival. The rain can soak me through and cause fungus to develop, yet it rehydrates me. It can chill me down to the point of shivering even in this hot jungle, yet it can keep the flying bugs and mosquitoes away. Survival at best is an emotional and psychological roller coaster.
There's not a rock in the jungle that isn't slippery. I'm going straight down.
There are only 2 directions in the jungle, up or down.
I hear water running. Seawater running. All right. Yeah. That's what I was afraid of. Sulfur water. It's hot. Probably upstream there's a big pool I could even get in. I can bathe in it. It's quite warm, actually, and quite undrinkable. I still have to find an alternate source of water. Although with all the rain at night, that's keeping me hydrated for now. Doing reconnaissance missions like this are really important. As I call them, checking out your zones of assessment. This is my zone of assessment number 3. Walking fairly far to see what I've got. Just have to be really, really careful that I don't blow too many calories going for a reward of very small calories. Sometimes it pays off, though. Well, I do know where I can have a bath now. All right, I see the clearing up here. That's where I'm headed. Of course, I went after a clearing yesterday, got to the very top and found nothing. Let's hope my fortunes are different this time. Oh yeah, it opens up all right. It's got to be an old jungle farm. Ooh, I see a coconut tree. That's where I'm first headed, right there. It doesn't look promising, but maybe there's something on the ground. You know, I've passed by a lot of coconut trees that there's just no way I'm going to be able to climb up them. This one almost looks doable. I still can't reach even from way up here. If I try to stand up, it's not going to happen. Let's see if I can do this with a pole and knock these suckers down. That guy doesn't want to come down. Plan C. I gotta catch my breath first. I thought that was gonna be the perfect ending to a great day. I just can't get the leverage I need to really hit at the base of that coconut. That's the 3rd time in my life I've tried climbing up a coconut tree. 3 strikes, you're out. Coconut's 3, Stroud 0. You win, Mr. Coconut. Whoa! I hacked into this coconut just because I figured, oh, it's rotted. It's not gonna be any good. I see what I can eat right in there. Here we go. Ha ha ha. Oh. Boy, I needed that. There's 4 or 5 more around here. I hack into them all, eat them all. Oh, boy, that's sustenance.
Tiny and old jungle farms exist throughout the island. They're often and mostly abandoned, but they remain productive with all kinds of fruit trees and plants, from mango and bananas to coconuts and pineapples. In fact, if you were on the run, they'd make a great place to hide out.
This is a mango tree, and up there are mangoes, but they're way up there. And these ones on the ground that have fallen down are just too rotted to eat. So I've got to find a way to knock down some of those ones that are way up there. I can't reach them, and I can see my way. And it's called bamboo.
Eating the coconut has given me a much-needed energy boost.
Come on. Ah! Yeah, 2. Check this out. Fresh mango, right from the tree. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. This is a good day. You hear about sometimes people go off and they live out in the wilderness or in the jungles, and they actually will slip into local areas to steal food and get right back to the jungle again. It's kind of what I feel like I'm doing right now. All right, I'm gonna collect a couple of these to take with me and look a little further and see what else I can find in this jungle reclaimed farm.
Though the rainwater I'd collected is refreshing, I always prefer to seek out good water out of the ground for its taste and mineral content.
There we go. Spring. That's not sulfur water. That's good fresh water. Actually, tastes like mineral water. I think that hummingbird wanted to come and get a drink, and I'm in his way. This is shaping up to be one heck of a day of good survival.
This jungle area brings about familiarity and makes all the difference for survival. Evidence, no matter how old, of human activity, cut trees, clearings, all help to make me feel more confident and sure of what I need to do. Now is when my decision to stay put becomes the priority over constantly moving and seeking out more advantageous areas.
Now we're talking my speed of fruit.
These look like limes, but they're actually just green lemons.
Oh, that's good. And this tree, it's a bit of a distance from my camp. In fact, it's quite a distance, but I know where it is, and I can gather a bunch of them, take them back to camp and enjoy. Oh, it's a good thing I like sour. Don't do that at home.
Mangoes, lemons, coconuts, fresh water. With so many advantages, things are beginning to look up.
Well, it's raining. Again. Funny thing. All this rain, the cloud forest. It was a long hike getting to everything today. I know where the mangoes are. I know where the lemons are. I know where coconuts are. Most importantly, I know where there's some spring water. Just coming along here, and this guy right here, oh, looks like fruit easy for the picking. But that's not what it is, because what it is, instead of a nice delectable fruit, I mean, it almost looks like a plum or something, you know? In fact, it's nutmeg. That's what nutmeg looks like. Oh, that smells beautiful. That's mace all on the top there, the red. You get rid of that. And the nutmeg's underneath. Give that a scrape. Oh, if you could smell that, that's nice. But I can't just pop it in my mouth and eat it, unfortunately. No, that's where the mangoes come in. Smells good, though. This area's cleared, like I've been seeing. Jungle farm. And where do you see what sits at the edge of the field? Yeah, looks old and left behind, but there's a roof there. That's a heck of a lot bigger than my little orange garbage bag. Huh. This is great. Remember I talked about how people come out here and build bamboo huts and hide away in the jungle? Well, check this out. Let's see if it's just simply abandoned or still in use. Well, doesn't look like anybody's using it. Huh, except maybe now. All right, well, I'm gonna bring the rest of my gear forward then, because I still want to find a good running stream. And actually, I want to try some fishing. And if it comes on to pour and rain, I should be fine. Incredible.
I became proactive and found palm hearts to eat. I found not only water and fruit, but also an abandoned shelter. These are the benefits of perseverance in a survival situation.
That was a long day, but a fruitful day. No pun intended. Between the mangoes, the coconut, the lemons, now it's time for dinner. So excuse me while I eat. I think I'm food drunk. That was a pretty bad song. Food drunk on a survival ordeal. There's a first for everything.
This should finally be a better night's sleep.
Ah, you gotta be kidding me. I am standing here. I'm not sitting. I'm not lying. I'm standing. And why am I standing? Because this place has come alive with fire ants. That's unbelievable. They're crawling all along the bamboo. I tried sitting down on the floor. There's just, the whole building's covered in fire ants. All right, well, I'm basically in the barn now. And not much I can do but sit out here, because I'm not going back in there. That's insane. I think I'm gonna be pretty much just curled here now in the dirt and hope that the ants stick to the wood. Because, you know, ants don't crawl on the ground, do they?
This couldn't be worse.
No, couldn't be worse.
Survival is a constant roller coaster. Sometimes for every advantage I find, I run up against another challenge. Only perseverance will win the day when it comes to surviving the jungle.
What a night. It only rained for about 30 seconds. But no worry, me and all the ants stayed dry. Pretty much spent the night just sitting. I think that's the hardcore reality of survival is you don't usually sleep at night. So you sleep during the day when you're supposed to be looking for food, which is what I'm gonna go do now. I've got lots of mangoes here. That's fantastic, so I know I can rely on that. I'm gonna head downstream, see if I can find another feeder stream that I can actually drink water from and maybe catch some fish. Does this look familiar? It sure feels familiar. Up and down, up and down.
I'd still like to find a substantial running stream. I know they can contain large crayfish. And finding meat like that to eat will go a long way towards securing what could be, if I choose to do so, long-term survival in this jungle.
This was that little wrist survival kit that I had. That's pretty much what I was hoping for. Fishing line, even a little lure, and a hook. I said I was gonna go fishing. Not for regular fish, crayfish. Well, here's the pool, and I've secured the fishing line to the top here. What'll happen though for fishing is I'll get some bait on the end, and I actually stick it into the end of the rod like this. I hold on to it with one hand, and my finger holds onto the fishing line. Then I take this, put it deep down into holes where I'm hoping the big crayfish are. Hey, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Little crayfish. Feed them through the hook. There we go. Looks appetizing to me.
I'm fishing for much larger crayfish. They can provide me with a very substantial meal. They're like a small lobster, sometimes as heavy as a pound or two.
There's definitely one down in there. Nice sized, and he took all the bait almost. All right. Try again.
Even one large crayfish would make a big difference. But the process is tricky and requires a lot of patience. They hide way up inside underneath these rocks.
Yeah, another one's just took my bait. They're deep, dark under. I can't really reach my hand in. Get it pinched if I do. I mean, they can be this big. Crayfish. So, lose a finger. So I think I'm gonna head downstream a bit, explore a little more, and most importantly, since I have been in the jungle for a while, clean off.
Without proper hygiene in every survival situation, I run the risk of highly dangerous rashes and fungus development. Small ailments that can make a survival ordeal a horrible test of pain endurance.
This came downstream, a few hundred yards. I don't believe this. I think I see coconuts. Oh. Here it is.
It's so rare to be able to get green coconuts so easily. So this is completely a matter of survival luck. And I'm going to take advantage of it by catching up on my sleep as well, so that I can think more clearly and make better decisions on what to do next. Without sleep, thinking clearly is impossible. There's simply been no need for fire so far into this journey. But with the advantage of a solid roof overhead, it's time to make a fire and enjoy its many benefits.
Doesn't matter where you are, how hot and dry it is, getting a fire going still requires patience and long setup and very fine tinders. And then for good measure, I know this usually holds an ember. It's an old termite nest. Watch out for fire ants here. Let's try a little trick getting a fire going. I've got a bottle of water and some printer paper. Paper that was used just to test the ink cartridge. So what's important is the black. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna fold it in four. I'm just looking for the spot where I can focus. I need more sun. There we go.
I had the paper in with my camera equipment.
Oh, there goes my son. Come back.
I figure why not use it for the greater good.
Oh, there's a lot of clouds up there today. It's not helping. Well, it worked really well on YouTube. Okay, what I'll try and do here is just simply use my flint and a piece of paper. So I have no magnesium shavings or anything like that. I think it'll work. What I gotta do though is I'm gonna rough up the paper a bit. Just get some rips. Just gently fold another piece over. Just gently hold it together. Keep feeding it some oxygen. One more piece of paper. All right, now we should have fire. There we go, there we go. Ha 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 ha! Yeah! Woo! Now we're talking. Ha ha. Die, fire ants, die. I know you're inside there. This was sent my way one day. This tiny little survival grill. And very lightweight, didn't even notice that it was in the pack, so I'm gonna try it out just to see if it's something worth taking. Carrying along. Always interested in new survival gear. Not bad. Let's try it out on the callaloo. Get it in there right away. I got a good solid fire now. Huh. That's not bad. Now that's what I call a meal. Unbelievable. Tomorrow, I'll just go downhill, down, 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 walk my way out of here. My time here is done. But this was effective jungle survival. I could go up and I find palm hearts. I go down that way and I find, you know, a river with fresh flowing water and coconuts I can grab. Go down this way and I've got mangoes and lemons. And that is good, effective survival when I can have a base camp and fan out and find something in every location. That's jungle survival for you.
Within every generalized ecosystem, every square mile has its own unique life to it. Within places we give general descriptions to, there survives a unique collection of biodiversity that, if destroyed, is not repeated anywhere else on this earth. Jungle survival is intimidating to the outside observer, but more intimidating is not having a jungle to survive in at all. The Amazon is different from the Congo. Papua New Guinea is different from Grenada. Though we refer to them all as just jungles, what makes any one area special is the fact that it's a deep, dark, dramatic example of a living and breathing planet. And in this respect, the Grenada jungle stands out as a pristine and beautiful example of the place we refer to as the jungle.